Hi, I'm Tabi Gweji. Welcome to SABC News' 11th episode of the podcast series in first person, where we capture first-hand accounts of traumatic experiences and the often challenging journey to survival.
In first person, the journey from trauma to survival.
In this episode, we capture the story of Thembisile Mkhathini, who lost her baby 6 weeks after giving birth. Until today, she does not know why her child passed on, as doctors did not give a clear explanation as to what happened.
Coming up.
I found out that I was pregnant around July. I gave birth on the 9th of February the following year. It was a girl. I was holding her in my arms and she was, the perfect thing I've ever seen. A couple of days after the checkup, the baby started not feeling well. There was a bit of that discomfort in her breathing. The head nurse at the time for that shift came running to the ward and then she said, they tried everything to save the baby.
Healthline.com states that pregnancy can be a very happy time. Whether that's true has a lot to do with factors outside the pregnancy itself. Studies have shown that women transitioning to the important role of mother do better when they feel unconditionally loved, consider their relationships authentic, and find satisfaction in friendships.
I found out that I was pregnant around July. I was feeling ill, and so I decided to go see my gynae because I had cramps and stuff. I took my mother with. So when we got there, the gynae asked me and stuff, and then I explained to her that I was experiencing some cramps, but nothing too hectic, but it was uncomfortable. So when she checked, when we did the sauna, there was this small little thing bouncing around. So she told me that I was pregnant and if I wanted my mom to know about it. So I was like, no, I'll tell her at home. I was excited. And my mom, when I came out, she was like, what's happening? I was like, no, it's okay. Everything is fine. It's just normal cramps. I waited 2 weeks because I wanted to tell the father first that we were expecting. So I told him we were both ecstatic. It was our first baby, and we were over our 30s. So it was a very, very wonderful experience. Everybody around me was super mega excited because I always used to say that I'm going to have my first child at 40, blah, 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 blah. But everything was very, very, it was wonderful. It was exciting for everybody around me. So everybody shared on that with me. I gave birth on the 9th of February the following year. It was a girl. I was holding her in my arms and she was, the perfect thing I've ever seen. The love that was inside of me. I've never knew such love existed. I've never experienced such a thing. You make promises to this being to protect with everything that you have. I felt so empowered, so strong, so determined to achieve anything and everything just to provide for this little person in my arms. I've never experienced such joy, such happiness, such the love that only a mother can feel towards her baby. It was perfect. The most perfect day I've ever had in my life. After 3 days in hospital, we were discharged, given a clean bill of health. We went home and everything was great. Everybody wanted to come see the baby. There were lots and lots and lots of gifts. I was happy. The baby was good. I was good. She was nursing well.
All babies are born with some immunity to illness. According to Healthline.com, common colds in newborns aren't dangerous, but they can quickly escalate into conditions that are, such as pneumonia or croup. Any illness in a baby under 2 or 3 months old is a reason to call their pediatrician, especially if they are running a fever.
After 5 days at home, we started noticing that her eyes were changing color, a bit of yellowy in it. My mom said, maybe it's jaundice, let's go to the gynae. We went to the gynae. When we got there, it was said that she had jaundice and needed to be admitted into the hospital for antibiotics. We stayed in hospital for 5 days. It's the bare minimum. After that, we were given a clean bill of health. We went home again. After everything was perfect, the baby was growing well. We went for our checkup in 6 weeks, which was fine. The baby was given a clean bill of health. I was fine. We were both like growing perfectly, and the family was happy. And then after the checkup, a couple of days after the checkup, the baby started not feeling well. There was a bit of that discomfort in her breathing and stuff. So my mom said we need to go to the hospital again. So we went to hospital. We were admitted. The doctor said something about the flu or something like that. So it was a Sunday. We were admitted to hospital. We got into hospital on that Sunday. The baby was put on drips, and they said it's just a minor flu. They gave us a physician, yes. And he would come into the ward like twice, because we were admitted afternoon Sunday. At night time on that same Sunday, he came and did a physio on the baby just for the phlegm. They said there's a phlegm. He did that Monday. The baby was fine. We're playing. She's feeding well. Everything was going good. And then Tuesday morning, everything was good as well. The doctor said, no, the baby's fine now. We can go home the following day, Wednesday. That morning, on that Tuesday, my mom said she's going to sleep over because it's just for one night. I can go home and rest just to be ready for the baby to come home. I left the baby with my mom. They were fine. We kissed her goodbye, me and Daddy. We kissed her goodbye, and then we left.
The loss of an infant may be sudden and shocking, or follow many months of neonatal intensive care unit visits. GoodTherapy.org says losing a baby means the loss of dreams for the baby's future. Parents may feel they were robbed of the time to get to know their child. Friends and family may never have met the child. This became a reality for Thembi.
Wednesday morning at 4 o'clock, I got a call from the hospital. They said we need to come through, like now. So we jumped, and then we went to hospital. When we got there was nobody at the nurse station, because usually there's somebody busy chatting, because I was used to them. They used to come and chat to me because I talk a lot. So I got there into the ward. My mom was sitting facing the door. She was sitting alone, so I thought, I got in, Mom, where's the baby? And then she started crying. As I was talking to my mom, the head nurse at the time for that shift came running to the ward, and then she said, they tried everything to save the baby. I was like, whose baby? What baby? What's happening? And then she said I must come with her. I went with her into there was a small room there next to the nurse station. I think it was their restroom. And I got in there, and my baby was wrapped in that pink blanket. It was my favorite blanket. She was wrapped in that blanket. They told me that the baby has passed away at that time.
Thembi lost her child, and no one took accountability. All she was told was, we don't know what happened.
I tried asking the available nurses what happened, but I was informed that only the doctor can tell me what happened. They're not supposed to say anything to me. I sat there with Daddy and I think after an hour, I decided to go outside. I went outside with my mom, who sat in the car a bit. Yeah, everything just happened. Nobody said anything to me. Whilst I was sitting there, the doctor came out of the hospital and got into his car and left. I was expecting a call maybe to say, the doctor's here, you can come and ask whatever. I went in, I ran back into the hospital. What did the doctor say? Did somebody speak to the doctor? And my brother and my husband only told me that the doctor said he doesn't know what happened. If we want to do a post-mortem, we need to pay for that post-mortem ourselves. And he didn't even ask to see the mother and say sorry and explain what happened and stuff. So yeah, still today I don't know what happened to my child, why all of a sudden she was no more or something like that. Yeah, that was the worst day of my life, because I don't know if it would have helped if I knew that she complicated, she was given the wrong medication and then she reacted to it. Do you get me? So yeah, still today I don't know what happened, what was the cause of her death, because I was told that she was being discharged on that day that she passed away. After all that drama at the hospital, we decided not to pursue any legal action, because whenever we asked people what to do, the people who were around us at that time, everybody was saying that the costs are going to be enormous. So we decided that since this thing was going to affect us and we are not going to move on, just leave it. Bury our child and just move on with life, and God will deal with whoever is responsible for the death of our baby, because somebody was responsible, but we were not going to find out until we do a post-mortem or something like that. So that's how it went with that thing. We just left it and we moved on with the proceedings to bury our baby girl.
According to patchsa.org, initially some people may feel disconnected from the real world when dealing with the loss of a child. They feel as if they just exist without any emotional connection. This is sometimes described as autopilot mode, where one gets through each day on a purely operational level. Others may feel they are unable to concentrate or complete the simplest tasks. It may feel as if your entire world is not normal.
Preparing for the funeral was the worst ever. I didn't do anything personally. My brother and my husband did everything with the help of my sisters. So we started planning. Okay, they started doing everything on that Wednesday. So, because we decided to bury Onana on that Friday. It was, I'll never forget those days. Friday morning was the worst day ever. So they brought Unana, and I died on that day. A part of me died with her. So I went from being myself to this zombie person who didn't want to do anything. We buried her Friday. People came. It was good. Anyway, so I buried my child on that Friday. We came back and it was a dark day for Not only me, but many people. It was one of the days I'll never forget. So, yeah. Everything changed for me in that day. Completely changed. Not for the good. Everything just changed. The following months, I would go to the cemetery every day. Every day, I would go alone to the cemetery and I'll spend like the entire day there, just sitting in the car, looking at the gravesite. That was my life. I used to go there in the morning, come back in the afternoons. I would be crying, and I'd be praying and I would be crying. I would be just, I wanted it to end for me too. So it was bad. That year was the worst year of my life.
The South African Depression and Anxiety Group advises the following. Turn to your faith, not against it. Most acknowledge that turning against the higher power might not be the answer. Understand your emotions, guilt and anger, loneliness, and wishing to die. Letting go. Allow your instincts to guide you. For instance, when you clear your child's room, decide what to keep and what to let go of.
I decided to seek help after I realized that with all that I was doing, I was not only hurting myself, but my family. And I couldn't stand being alone anymore because I pushed everybody away. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to deal with anybody, and I was all alone. I was too depressed to even do anything. So I sought help. I got myself my mom got me a psychiatrist, somebody I could talk to, and then I started slowly but surely going back to my daily routines. Started going back to church and talking to people, and if that time I didn't do that, I think I wouldn't be here right now. So all of that helped me understand that depression is real, and people go through these emotions not understanding what's happening, but I seeked help. In fact, people who were around that time who didn't allow me to push them to the point of them saying whatever, bye, they helped me. The friends that stuck around, because I lost many friends, the ones that stuck around, they helped me. My family, my mom didn't allow me to push away my husband. And then I started talking about it. I started talking to my gynae about it. I started going past that hospital again because I didn't want to go past that place anymore, and I started praying about it. This one time I even went to that hospital just to walk around, just to claim my life back, just to walk around. I started going to prayer groups because that's my number one prayer, my number one place where I go when I need strength, I need reassurance. So for me, healing came when I talked about her, when I said her name, Tsiamo. I love it because the friends that I have now, they don't say your baby that passed away. They say her name, and that brings me healing. And every year, this other friend of mine suggested that every year we buy cupcakes in honor of Tsiamo. As a mom, as a parent who loses a baby, you never stop counting. My baby would be 6 years old this year. She would be starting school next year. You never stop counting ever. So, and you never stop loving that child just because they are now gone. You need people around. I hear people saying that you must stop crying for your baby. You must stop not mourn your child. As a parent who lost a baby, the first thing you need to do is understand that we mourn differently, but moving on is possible, and healing, find your healing place. This other friend of mine, now she's my friend, but we met through talking about losing kids. Her healing place was the gym. The other person's healing place was the mosque. So talking about this thing helps, and opening up. Don't give. The more you give, you don't want to mingle with people. That's when it starts killing you, because they say that no, she doesn't want to be with people. Give her space. Some people don't need space. They need you to invade them in a loving and a kind way. I was lucky enough that I had a mom who was very, very strong-willed, and she pushed until I opened up. And my God was there as well. My family. You need your family. You can't deal with this thing alone. It will kill you. You'll end up crying. You never stop crying, but then cry. Sometimes my healing came when I started talking about her without crying. That's when my healing came. And I love her every day, and I miss her every day, and I can see her in my other two daughters, because now I have two daughters as well. I tell them about their sister whenever I can. So giving people space sometimes makes things worse, but if it's space they need, give them a loving space, but check up on them sometimes. It helps.
After your baby dies, you may have moments when you doubt that you can survive this ordeal. Your longing, anger, sadness, and despair can run so deep that you may wonder if you will ever emerge from the abyss. Psychology Today suggests the following coping with loss. Accept your need to mourn and express your grief. Have realistic expectations about grief, viewing it as a complex process that has no deadlines. Accept your preoccupation with your baby as a natural expression of your parental bond and a natural part of your grief. Do those things that let you feel close to your baby.
To date, where I am, emotionally, I'm good. I'm very good. There are days where I miss my baby, and they all understand that when I feel like that, I cry, I call people, I talk to people, especially my husband. We talk about it a lot, because even he get those days where he's like, I miss baby. We've only had her for 7 weeks, but she's our baby. We both imagine how she would be like, just picturing the two that we have right now. Physically, I'm okay. Still have a long way to go. I'm taking it one day at a time. I'm trying to be a fit mom. I'm trying to be an active mom in my daughter's lives. I understand that things change, people change, and I'm free with my emotions now. I can deal with a whole lot of things better. I'm at a point where I trust that everything happens for a reason. Everything, as bad as it may be right now, situation that you're facing, everything happens for a reason. And there are days where we go to the graveyard, we clean it. We just, I recently told the eldest one again that you have a sister. I tell them her name all the time. And we pray, because I believe that even the people who have passed on, they do see us. That's my belief. And I've let go of holding on to her as, why me? if it was not me, if God came and asked me, Guti, okay, Thembi, now I can bring back your child. Give me another name. Give me a mom that you want me to take her child instead of you. And then I'll bring back the child. I don't even have one name to say, no, take so-and-so's child. So that was my cross to bear. And he gave me that situation because he knew that I'll be able to handle it. And I am handling it. It's still painful. Come the 9th of February, I do celebrate my daughter's birthday. And it brings joy to my heart. And I tell people that I'm a mother of 3, not 2. Where I am now, I'm good. I'm good, and I'm happy to say that it is possible to move on, but doing it alone is impossible. You need support, friends, loved ones. You need support to deal with the loss of a child. People would say things at first that, no, umntwana akazifeli nje. You need to go ubheke ngamanye amehlo. But I'm grateful for the husband that I have who said, uNkulunkulu usiphile, uNkulunkulu uthathile. God has given, God has taken. So that was my husband's motto. We never even thought ukuthi umntwana might be, we were bewitched or something like that. It never even came in or crossed our minds. But that was our beliefs, and that's the main thing. It's easy to go past us. So God is good. God is very good. And she'll always be my baby girl, no matter what.
Thank you for listening. You can visit sabcnews.com or at SABC News on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube for the latest episode of In First Person. For SABC Digital News, I'm Tabi Gweji.